ओके नील एंड लीजा, सबसे पहले तो कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन फॉर मोर शॉर्ट्स प्लीज के लिए।
थैंक यू।
सबसे पहले तो ये जानना चाहेंगे कि ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म है वेब सीरीज का, जो प्लेटफॉर्म प्रेजेंट टाइम में लोगों को बहुत ही पसंद आ रहा है, ढेर सारी वेब सीरीज आ रही हैं, लोगों को बहुत ही पसंद आ रहा है। आप लोग कितना एंजॉय करते हैं, क्योंकि आप लोग की भी जो वेब सीरीज है इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर आ रही है। फॉर मोर शॉर्ट्स प्लीज, एनीवन
You want to start?
Okay. To have a platform like Amazon Prime Video is super because work is there for every kalakar, and I mean we've chatted about this previously also, and we can tell a long story. Suddenly everything is like a never-ending story. Okay, we'll say, 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
We hope actually.
It will be 4 more seasons, please. So that's the idea, and it's diverse, it's dynamic. For 4 more shots, please.
Yeah.
The group, every HOD is so enterprising. Everybody is coming together to put something fun and good together. No? And the beauty about, like you're saying, about the platform now is that ab technology hai. 10 years ago we did not have it, 5 years ago we did not have it. We don't know what's going to happen 10 years aage, but we're hopeful. And it's our job to, as performers, to whatever the platform is, go and perform over there.
How are you enjoying? आपने कितना enjoy किया? Like I know the characters homosexual, उसके बारे में हम definitely बात करेंगे, but this platform.
Yeah, so let's talk about the platform. Obviously now the whole industry dynamic is getting shaken up. I would even venture to say it's becoming even slightly more democratic. People who might not have gained entry into the industry now, there's such a variety of roles, also for directors, also for producers potentially, to tell very different stories. And again, to develop those characters, I think it's superb. I personally watch mainly, like I can't remember the last time I watched TV. Like traditional TV, no? So this has revolutionized the whole industry all over the world, particularly in India. It's very exciting because we have so many stories to tell. And previously, I will tell you, I started 1991. I'm proper vintage, okay? And so I have seen the change. I have seen, the technology change, but also the storytelling change. I will tell you, as a woman, 1991, there were 2 roles for a woman. It was either virginal heroine or the vamp. Bas, that's it. And it's true. And what happens, like, either you have to change yourself either way, because we have all shades in us. None of us is absolutely the vamp, and neither of us is absolutely the Devi. So you're lying, you're hiding something to play those roles. Now we have such a more authentic, more real, more relatable, real people with real problems. Matlab, everyone can relate. Okay, I'm not saying everyone can relate to 4 More Shots, please, because it's specifically urban women. I can relate to it. But we have many stories in India, and it's all being told now slowly, slowly. Everyone is getting the chance to tell their stories on these digital platforms. So that is superb.
कितना agree करते हैं आप, madam?
100%. 100%. And actually, I'm very happy that ma'am's also spoken about the early 90s, because tab you could not even predict ke aage kya hone wala hai. We could not predict what is going to happen. We could not. These phones were not invented.
No social media.
No social.
No managers. No PR. No stylists. Bas, nothing. It was just us. Raw.
True.
It's a good and a bad thing, there was a very organic time, of course, in other ways, and the friends that I made in those days, it was very emotional connections. They're still my friends. I'm not saying that you can't make friends now, but it's a little bit more business-like now, because the industry has grown. It's exploded, and it should be, as I said, I go back to it, should be more democratic. Everyone should be able to tell their story. The freedom to tell your story, to make your choices, that is, for me, essential. Either as an actor, even as an audience member, as a woman, as a human being. You want to be able to live your life in your own way and tell your story. That's important.
नील जी, जैसा कि लीजा जी ने ऑथेंटिक की भी बात की, एंड हम देख रहे हैं प्रेजेंट टाइम में हमारी जो ऑडियंस है ऑथेंटिक चीज़ों को देखने में बिलीव करती हैं। ऑथेंटिक चीज़ इस अमेजॉन प्राइम वीडियो पर हमें देखने को मिल रहा है, चाहे हम इनसाइड एज की बात करें, मिर्ज़ापुर की बात करें, एंड अब 4 मोर शॉर्ट्स प्लीज। ये बताइए कि ऑथेंटिक, अब ये जो सब कुछ ऑथेंटिक हो गया है, उसमें आप कितना बिलीव करते हैं? लीजा जी ने तो बताया नहीं, आप बताइए।
या कितना बिलीव करता हूँ इन दी ऑथेंटिकनेस ऑफ इट, द ऑथेंटिसिटी ऑफ इट।
इसमें भी कितना ऑथेंटिक होने वाला है, क्योंकि जितना हमने ट्रेलर में देखा उतना हमें पता है कि हमारे रियल लाइफ में पार्टीज में सब ऑथेंटिक ही है। आप बताइए।
Well, it's also a reflection of society and India today, because India is just go rewind to your Nani's mother ke time. Okay, so 3 generations we go back. It was a whole different India. The tariqa was different, right? How we would interact with each other, how we would interact, men, women, different, you know, things. Then it changed again, and those changes happened because of things like obviously you know, partition. Those things change because of liberalization. Those things change when the country moves from an agricultural sector to a service sector. The behavior of human beings change. So what you're seeing in 4 more shots please right now is 4 individuals in today's time in a city like Mumbai, which is a very dynamic city in the first place. It's so you can't say you can't stereotype the city, and you can't stereotype the people also.
That's true. That's very true. It's also not, you don't want to fall into that trap also. We're not, I mean, it's also entertainment. It's also entertainment. Thing, We're not trying to speak either for a generation. I am not personally trying to condone any lifestyle. I personally don't drink, you know, but there's no problem with drinking either, you know. There's no problem with who you want to be your partner, in my mind. But I'm also saying just have the freedom, you know, and this is not, all of Bombay is also not this, but it's also entertainment. We are still having the opportunity to show a certain kind of fresh vision still 100%. That has not been deeply explored so far in Indian content. On a personal level, the one thing I realized is when I was giving another interview, to be honest. So because I spend my time, half my time outside of India now, because I'm based between Hong Kong and Bombay.
Oh nice, I like Hong Kong.
So yeah, it's a fab city actually. And it's not too far from India, so I'm always in and out. But so my personal mission is always trying to explain to people outside India, you know, India is not Slumdog Millionaire. It was a great movie, but I get really irritated when every single foreigner I meet just says, "Ah, India, Slumdog Millionaire." We have to change also the story and the narrative and show that, like, India's this, many different Indias are there, but there's also this dynamic modern India that is very similar probably to you. It's very global. It's very similar to probably the issues that you are facing in your own country, in your own city, you know. So it presents a different narrative of India, an alternative narrative of India from the one that a lot of foreigners perceive India to be. I think that that's really healthy. Because otherwise you get very, I get irritated. India is also suffering from its own stereotype. It still is like elephants, and I want to go to Rajasthan and I want to see the Taj. Fantastic, but there's a lot more. And so my friends, when they've come to Bombay, when they come to Delhi, they're like, "Wow, you're so cool, man." You know? Wow.
Like I was born cool.
So we have that factor that I think is very healthy to put that out there into the world, because remember, this is streaming in 200 countries.
Except mainland China, Iran, Syria.
And you memorized that, fantastic.
I read it yesterday. And yeah, that's about it. There is one more, but I can't remember. There is one more, but I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of asking, like, which countries are you not streaming to? That's a good question.
Okay, नील जी, अब हम 4 more shots पे प्लीज आते हैं. ढेर सारी गर्ल्स हैं, ब्यूटीफुल गर्ल्स, चाहे राइटर की बात करें, डायरेक्टर की बात करें, एक्टर की बात करें, ढेर सारे वेब सीरीज में गर्ल्स. लीजा जी, आपके कैरेक्टर के बारे में जानना चाहेंगे कि
Right.
क्या कुछ आप हमें करते हुए दिखेंगे इस वेब सीरीज में?
Sir, my character is also beautiful.
Yes, he's a very beautiful man.
Beautiful man.
I play the part of Varun, who was married to Kirti's character, and Shadi is broken up, but we have a child together, and then how the family becomes a little bigger.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world when people decide to go separate ways. I have also congratulated some of my friends on decisions to this thing, because making a decision and acting upon going separate ways is much harder than saying chal shadi karte hain." You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I never even thought about it. See, that's such an important
and
issue
that's
to
what,
address, right?
Yes, and that's what I would like to be part of, contributing to how we as a society. It's okay, these things happen, like heartbreak.
You shouldn't feel guilty.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't feel trapped
Yes.
unnecessarily,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and it's just expand the family. Yeah, it's okay. You know.
No, you're actually, I mean, I didn't even think of that, but that is so right, because I have so many friends in Bombay that are
Yeah.
now, you know, have separated. They went through a lot of angst, you know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of guilt also on the woman.
Yeah.
You should keep the family together. That
Yes.
used to be the story.
Yeah.
But if you're not thriving together, if you got married at 19 and now at 40,
Oh, of
you're two
course.
different people.
Yeah.
You know, you should be given the liberty to happily uncouple yourself.
Yes,
let's
uncouple
say.
yourself and
Uncouple
have
yourself.
a rhythm in that also. Okay, maybe you know.
And still
छुट्टी के
maintain
लिए
a
everybody goes
relationship.
together,
Yeah, you can still be friends now.
Yes.
So this dialogue is, even that's very exciting to be able to
Yes.
bring that into
Yeah.
people's consciousness, because sometimes, you know, someone might be going through that. And then to see that reflected, they might think, they might get a little bit of
Yes,
courage,
yes.
you know, to
Little
think,
rahat will definitely be.
Hannah,
yeah.
and think, okay, it's not such a bad thing. Maybe I can find the courage to do this.
And I know your character is homosexual, correct? So how was your experience, and tell us a little about more your character and कैसा रहा इस फिल्म में, और भी जो different ladies हैं उन सभी के साथ का experience?
All of my scenes are mainly with Bani's character, Umang. I don't see her as like a homosexual, because then I'd say, well, heterosexual. Like, I don't walk around
Yeah.
saying, what's it like being a heterosexual,
Yeah,
you know?
true.
So,
No
but I
one's asking
understand.
that.
I'm going to start doing that and
Yeah,
see what
damn
happens.
funny,
But I understand, because it's still a relatively unspoken concept in India. 377 was just repealed, which of course has opened the floodgates. It's very healthy that people should make their choices about their partners, but it's still relatively unexplored territory in India. So I understand that people label homosexual. My character is not that. She's trying to figure herself out, okay? But I mean, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. I think it's a very interesting topic to explore. Working with an all-female, not all-female cast, but largely female-centric production changes the dynamic on the set. So I was emboldened as well. I was very unself-conscious as well when you're shooting and on the set. That definitely helps. It's a more female gaze, you can say. So I just enjoyed everything about this, and I would be excited to be able to explore this character even further in the next seasons that are coming up. But I can't really give away too much other than that.
And नील जी, इसके अलावा अगर मैं बात करूँ तो मैडम की बहुत ही अच्छी बुक आने वाली है जो कि कैंसर के ऊपर है।
Yes.
आपको पता है इसके बारे में? नहीं पता है आपने जो?
I'm so sorry.
What?
Hey, he's capturing on camera also. आपको नहीं पता है ना? Like, नहीं, I'm sitting
Well,
right
no,
here.
because we just met now.
We just, yeah.
Tell us a little about more about your book.
एक तो thank you for putting us
Thank you,
together in the
thank you
same frame.
so much
Thank
for
you.
putting it out there. Kyunki this
And
is,
that as well.
this
Yes,
is
most
I'm
definitely.
calling, of course, the
Tell
book
me,
my
please tell me.
third baby. I will
Yeah.
tell you now, because this is
Yes,
a good
please,
practice
please.
now, you know?
Yes.
It's a memoir.
Yes.
It's called Close to the Bone.
Ooh.
And I have written it.
Right.
So it's, I don't see it as a memoir, I see it as launching myself as a writer.
Nice.
Because my real passion my entire life has been writing. And I've
Yes.
written my whole life. It just so happens I haven't published, but that doesn't mean you're not a writer. So finally I have the guts to actually start focusing on this as my next phase.
Absolutely.
So after this book, I'm already planning the next book. I'm still very humbled and anxious and excited for the book release. It'll be later this year. But it's a very, very candid, raw account of my experiences.
How long? When did you start writing it? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Chai pilo aap. When did you start writing it?
Okay, we'll sit here like this now.
I'm in my host mode now.
Yeah. So it's been a long genesis. Because I actually took it back. It was originally commissioned by HarperCollins Canada.
Nice.
I'd written it then, but it was too close to my cancer experience, so believe it or not, I withdrew the manuscript. I just got I was like, it's not ready. And they wanted to release it very quickly. I withdrew it, I sat on it for like a year or two, and then I've been rewriting it for the last year and a half.
Nice.
Yes, and it's in the editing stage now. And so as I said, it's literally like a third baby for me. And it's you know, I mean, we're creative people. It's another form of expression, but I've always thought as a writer, and I've taken notes for many years. And you know, the other thing is, of course, when you're in this industry, you get labeled, you know, or people judge you by what you see or certain pieces of work that they see you do. But there's obviously many layers to all of us, and I finally have the chance to tell my story, which takes the whole spectrum since before birth, but from when I landed in Bombay. So also, I get to share how I've seen the industry evolve since 1991, since I first came here.
That'd be great, yeah.
Okay, 4 more shots पे आते हैं.
Yeah, back to 4 more shots.
जिस तरह की फिल्में करते हैं नील जी, चाहे मैं NH10 मैंने देखी थी, लोगों को बहुत पसंद आई, मुझे बहुत पसंद आई. स्मोक देखी हमने, बहुत ही अच्छी है. एक पर्टिकुलर चूजी है आप अपने कैरेक्टर को लेके. 4 more shots भी हम टीज भी हम देखेंगे, तो पर्टिकुलर चूजी है आप अपने कैरेक्टर को लेके कि हाँ जो किरदार मुझे पसंद आएगा वही करूँगा. ये आप बताइए, क्योंकि हमने आपको ढेर सारा थिएटर में भी देखा है, बहुत ही अच्छा वहाँ भी करते हैं. तो चूजी आप अपने किरदार.
मैं चूजी इतना नहीं. Sir, my decision making is very simple. I don't know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to do.
So important.
Okay, so what is left is what I work on the process of elimination. Right? And
An instinct, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes now off late, a little more like the prefrontal cortex is kicking in, and I'm like, shut up, let me
That's
this thing.
tough, huh?
But I want to always work with cool people, so that I feel cool, and it needs to be A grade in my opinion. So whatever the platform is, it can be stage, it can be street theater, TV, Amazon Prime, movie, it could be anything. But and good or bad is an opinion also, so if it's A grade in my opinion, I'm happy with it. And I'd love to be part of it. Especially if there's something cool which is on, like 4 more shots please. I don't want to not be out of it. Again, if you're talking about choices, jo hai, if I want to watch it, I would like to be part of it. Or story. That's how it is.
That's a good simple process actually at the end of it.
Yes.
I like that.
कोई particular ऐसा dialogues है इस वेब सीरीज का जो आप लोग का favorite है, आपका ही character?
Sir, during shoot only I couldn't remember my dialogues.
I don't.
I can't remember. Oh, like that.
Like इसी web series का?
No.
Lisa, Flor?
No, I have a very poor memory. So you cannot put me on the spot. I also had problems remembering my dialogues.
But I like the dynamics. If I just change your question to answer something this thing, I like the dynamics of the people, the players jo hai, the 4 lead, you know, and then how we feature into their lives also. That is too much fun.
Exactly, it feels like fun. It feels easy and natural when you see them, and it feels like, hey, I want to also come along and sit with them at the bar and also listen to what they're saying, right?
Yeah, relatable. So whether you but if you take the whole gang to put them in Bangalore or Sri Lanka, it'll still be fun. So the people in the show, that's the real,
and that's also the credit to producer, director, you know, everything. A lot of credit to that, because, you know, to look, as you know, Neil, to look natural on screen takes a lot of work. It's the hardest thing. You know what I mean? So we have the kind of work, profession,
Yeah.
that everyone should look like they can do it. Like they look, if you've done your job
Yeah.
right, it should look like anyone can do it. I can do that.
Yeah.
But if you do it wrong, you immediately get, but the point is that it takes a lot of effort to look effortless. So actually, even though it looks like they're just like doing their own thing and they are that, obviously they've worked hard and there's been a lot of
Yes.
hard in the whole team, a lot of hard work in the whole team of pulling together that dynamic. It's consciously done.
निजी साल की शुरुआत में आपकी वेब सीरीज से शुरुआत हो चुकी है. नेक्स्ट क्या देखेंगे हम आपको? लाइक फिल्में होंगी, वेब सीरीज होंगी, शॉर्ट फिल्म होंगी?
सब
Where
कुछ,
will we see you?
hopefully.
कुछ मतलब
Yeah.
एक मूवी है, मैं दृश्यम,
दृश्यम, हाँ.
एक दृश्यम films I'm doing.
Oh, fabulous.
It's called Anam. It's like a smallish film, and we shot most of it. There's just like a little work to do, जो शायद Feb end के पहले ही हो जाएगा. And it's, as you know, it's season time in the media industry right now, so everybody is making shows now. So it will be a busy. I will be busy till monsoon, and then I'll take 2 months off.
2 months. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
After your book launch, what's next?
Yeah.
Well, at the book launch,
fixed
we
the
don't
date?
know. No, we haven't fixed a date.
Okay.
Publisher has to fix a date. HarperCollins. I worked on an A.R. Rahman film, which I don't know exactly when it's going to release. I hope so. It's called 99 Songs. That was also a once in a lifetime kind of experience. It was beautiful. I would like to say I do not suffer from FOMO. I suffer from JOMO, the joy of missing out. So I'm at that.
I think when people should now name their babies. Hey, FOMO? JOMO.
JOMO!
जाके
FOMO.
खेल. FOMO and
I
JOMO.
really, and I'm not even like, I'm not hip. I don't try to be hip.
No,
I am a
that's
nerd. I embrace who I am. I'm in a different phase of life. I don't need to work. I choose to work. So I
Super.
choose very carefully.
Yeah.
We will be most likely shooting another series of that. That will keep me busy between that and promoting my book, writing another book, my babies,
Yeah.
and living
How old are you, baby?
joyfully 6 months.
Wow.
This is a baby injury, by the way. This is from picking them up.
Oh crap.
Yeah, who knew?
Did you break a bone?
No, tendinitis. They
Okay,
call it a
okay,
mama
no, I saw
injury.
this.
Oh, this is an old injury. That's.
Hey, I have one question to ask.
Sure, no problem.
Who are you reading now, and what is one of your favorite writers?
Oh, that's a great question. Rohinton Mistry is one of my favorite writers. I just read Michael Ondaatje's newest book. I read an excellent book called Less. I don't remember the author. It's Pulitzer Prize winning.
Oh, nice. Huh.
And a little portion is set in India, and it's hilarious. I've read Latitudes of Longing that I really recommend. It's just unearthly. It's a new author,
I've seen the cover
Swaroop.
of it.
Oh, you see that? I know. So I'm a fiction reader.
Yeah.
My husband is non-fiction,
Right.
so it's really funny. You can tell whose
so
side of the
yeah,
bed
yeah,
it is
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's piled up like
yeah.
business books and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but for me, fiction it's like the difference between a graphic artist and a fine artist. Fine artist fiction. So
Nice.
even for me, I would like to graduate eventually.
Right, too.
I may get myself into trouble saying this, but I'd like to graduate to writing fiction. Characters. What else? I've been. You know what I did is I did a tech detox at Christmas and New Year's. Turned off my phone, switched off no social media, so I was
makes
with my
sense, yeah.
family, and reading. I
Nice.
read actually so much.
Wow.
And I'm going to Canada to participate in something called Canada Reads,
Yeah.
which is a literary reality show. Believe it or not, it's like a book club on TV. So we debate a book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love books. For me, I hope that books never die out. Even if you read on a Kindle,
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, for
Please
sure.
read, because your imagination, you travel, you go on a journey, you go into someone's life, you will then understand human beings
Yeah.
better.
Okay, back to 4 more shots. बातें करते हो, हम भी कहीं और किसी और दुनिया में चले जाते हैं. Okay, so
I know, but that's me. Now I'm creative
it's
type.
done.
I'm living in the.
Yes, cool.
But you asked me the question,
did,
so
I
I
did.
had to go there. What are you reading, by the way?
The Great Gatsby.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I've never read it, so I saw it and I was on, "Ye to kafi patla hai yaar." I thought it'd be like
It's good.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's thin,
And
na?
2 days later I went and got it. And so yeah, in chapter 4. There's that. I'm in the middle of a Lee Child one, which is taking. I'm a slow reader, so like I've been reading one book for 1 year. I still have some time and tidbits here.
That's
and there.
okay. What,
Yeah.
do you read on the set or when you're traveling?
When I'm chilling.
Okay, so a few days और कुछ बाकी रह गए हैं 4 more shorts को
Yeah.
होने में आप viewers को क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे and 4 more shorts please के लिए.
Okay. What I'd like to tell anyone who's watching this and people who are not watching this, a lot of work has gone into putting up 4 more shots, please. And all of that has been with one focus, and that is to showcase a slice of life and to entertain you while we're at it. So, big thank you to Amazon, Prime Video.
Yes.
Big thank you to PNC. Anu Menon and the whole team for giving us a call to be part of it, because this is cool stuff and this is stuff that will go down in history for sure. So thank you for that.
Yes. What did you say about?
No, but Neil said everything I was going to say, exactly how I was going to
Same
say
as
it.
all, no? Yeah.
So I have nothing to say.
I read your diary. Today I'm going to say
Yes,
this.
exactly.
And I'm going to say that.
He stole on my words.
Yeah.
No, I want to say that 4 more shots, please, is, I feel, groundbreaking. It's really about time that India saw women portrayed, as unapologetically, imperfectly perfect selves, living their lives, going through ups and downs, celebrating, embracing even the difficulties in life, because we only grow through our difficulties. So I hope that you'll all take this journey with this fantastic cast of characters, these women and both Neil and myself. And I promise that you'll be entertained, and it'll be something memorable. And and we need to also, I think, encourage content like this, which is fresh and new and novel, and maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and
Thank
good
you.
luck. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
That was a fun interview.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. I always look forward to it.
It was fun because of you.
Thank you. You're too kind. Yeah. Hong Kong, I've been.
Subscribe to Biscuit TV and press the bell icon on your YouTube app and never miss another Bollywood update from Biscuit TV.